going on, guys? This is Brian Fininsky with Verity Magazine, hanging out with Alex from Chelsea Grin, frontman, the singer. What's going on, man?
It's cold in the D.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a few times. So first of all, this lineup for this tour right now is just totally stacked. You guys got Black Dahlia Murder, Suicide Silence. What's it like to be playing with these bands that you're playing with right now?
It's kind of like nostalgic, man. Like everyone in my band grew up listening to these guys for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like these two bands have been bands that we've always wanted to tour with, and let alone tour together at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool as fuck.
Right. And so I know you kind of just touched on it a little bit, but have these bands influenced you guys in any way when you started coming up, creating music?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Suicide Silence for me personally, I think the first time I heard them, it was back in the MySpace days. I don't even think they definitely didn't have their first EP out. They just had a cool live video with it was all professional, and that was the first time I actually heard high screaming and low screaming at the same time. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And then as far as Black Dahlia, they've influenced our music for years now. Like everyone in my band, including me, loves those guys, and so it's cool.
Right on. So the album Ashes to Ashes, you guys just released that in July of 2014. Would you say that this album's like a pretty decent, accurate representation of your true artistry? Yeah,
finally, man. When we started this band, we were young. I didn't even know how to scream. I never screamed a day in my life. I just literally knew a friend that knew how to play guitar, and I was like, let's start a fucking band.
Right.
And started from there. So I feel like all the albums up until about Evolve really were kind of learning processes, and then Ashes, we all knew exactly what we wanted to do and knew exactly how we wanted to go about it. So yeah, it's a most accurate representation of what kind of music we like to write and play and shit. So.
Right on. So on that note, how is Ashes to Ashes different than your previous albums?
I mean, it's got a whole lot of everything, man. We got some death metal songs, we got some slower songs. You know what I mean? It's just cool. It's the kind of route we've always wanted to pursue as a band. We never wanted to put out a record that was limited to one genre. You know what I mean? Especially when we decided to start throwing some singing in it and shit. You know what I mean? We kind of wanted to do a little bit of everything, just because we're influenced by so many different kinds of bands, anywhere from Deftones to Slipknot to even fucking Paramore, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just kind of wanted to throw it all together. Yeah.
Okay, so take me through the band's songwriting process. Would you say it's more structured or just spontaneous?
I mean, at this point, like I said, now that we're older now, we everyone knows their way around a computer and all the recording programs, and everyone kind of writes their own shit, you know what I mean? And then when it comes time to put out the album, we kind of smash it together, compare ideas, restructure, everything. So it's really cool. And then that's another reason why our album has so many different elements, because they're all written separately. We're not just in a jam space being no, that sucks, no, that sucks, no, that sucks,
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which is how we used to do it, and that was a fucking stressful ordeal.
So I know you kind of already just touched on this a little bit, but who are some of your personal musical influences?
Oh, man. I mean, when I was younger, like I said, I was all about the metal bands now, Suicide and Black Dahlia and bands like Whitechapel, but nowadays, honestly, I kind of listen to some weird shit. I've been into Lana Del Rey and some fans wouldn't really understand that that's an influence, but it's more so the song structure and the way it goes that I kind of take it from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
cool. Okay, so since Chelsea Grin has formed, what would you say has been some of the band's, or one of the band's, biggest accomplishments?
I mean, Warped Tour, for one. We've been lucky enough to be on it twice, and that was always something that I personally grew up kind of idolizing, thinking it's man, that's the tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's if we could make it on that, we'd make it. And then not only that, I remember seeing a band touring a bus for the first time, and I remember thinking, man, that'd be so cool, but we can never fucking do that And then the first tour we ever did in a bus, I was like, wow, you know, like,
This is insane.
it's just one of those things where, like, remind yourself that you can never say never, you know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. So you guys have been touring like so much lately. How do you guys spend your off days on the road? What do you guys do for fun?
On the road? I mean, usually when we have an off day, it's usually just kind of like chill, you know what I mean? Like, especially for me, I try to dedicate a full day to vocal rest, meaning I just shut the fuck up,
Right.
you know what I mean? Kind of restart myself. So off days, like, you don't do anything crazy. I think the craziest we'll get is maybe go to a Hooters and have some beers and eat some wings and watch some football, but
Right, just kind of chill.
yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, back in the day, I shouldn't say back in the day, we're pretty young, but you guys got some pretty decent exposure from MySpace. How do you think social media impacts bands that are starting to come up, and what impact do you think social media has on bands these days?
I mean, if it weren't for that, then it'd be back to old school of having to walk around your block, posting flyers on everything all around your city and shit, and like trying to go to places and hand out like flyers and stuff. So social media has kind of made it a little bit easier for bands when it comes to promotion wise. Honestly, I thought MySpace Music was the best thing ever. That's how I found out most of the bands I listened to back in the day, because I go to my favorite band, go to their top 8, listen to all those bands, go to their top 8, listen to all those bands, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I literally just missed all those days. You know, a little bit younger, but I wish I could do
Facebook
that.
needs to get on their game with that top 8 shit. For
Yeah,
music.
Facebook is kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's going downhill, but for bands and for people trying to promote their stuff, you know, you have to like. It's all about money now.
Yeah,
you know,
like we have like 1 million plus on our Facebook, but in order to post to all those likes, we have to like pay a certain amount of money. And it's like, what the fuck is that? You know?
Right. If you like it, you should just be able to see everything they post. So what are some of your short term and long term goals as a band?
I mean, long term is, you know, just continue touring on bigger scales, you know what I mean? Just keep climbing that ladder, I guess. And short term is to, I guess, kick ass in the meantime.
Right. Cool. So I'll wrap it up soon. So what are some of your plans after this tour? I know you guys are touring with Asking Alexandria after this, but what are some of your plans after that or even before that?
Yeah, I mean, we have this tour, we go home for a little bit, and we go out on that run with Asking Alexandria, and then, you know, we got some plans for a couple of headliners worldwide that we're working, so.
You can't say anything about that?
All I can say really is that we're going to headline, not just in the States, and it's going to be sick.
Cool, man. Sweet. Well, this has been Alex with Chelsea Grin. I'm Brian Paninsky for Verity Magazine. Thank you guys for watching.